Okay.
Hi, Mr. Greco.
How are you, dear?
Fantastic. Missing all of you in Florida.
Great. Now, what this is going to be, this is all about you. Do you understand? I want you to start from when you left here in eighth grade and let us, what have you been doing? What schools you go to, the highlights, etc.,
Oh, goodness.
your career, etc., whatever. And then there'll be some questions at the end that
Okay.
we'll ask you and you can ask us. And we'll want you to give some memories of Palm Beach Day Academy, bad or good, whatever you want. Okay.
Sounds great. I hope my memories are accurate.
Okay, take it away. Eighth grade, you're leaving. Where are you
All
going?
right. Eighth grade, I graduated the day school and went to Palm Beach Lakes High School for high school
Uh-huh.
and was there all 4 years. I got to say, it was actually a great experience. And I stayed here and didn't go to a boarding school so that I could swim with my coach at the time.
By the way, how are your rotator cuffs? I have
Not great.
They okay? But yours were operated on, weren't they?
They were, both of them at the same time.
They won't operate on mine. They say I'm too old. So I
Can you
barely
still lift your
mine.
arms?
I can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I'm an old man. So
Do
go
you
ahead.
still play tennis?
No, I can't.
Oh, shoulders.
I have this.
Yeah,
But that's okay. Don't worry. I think this is okay. That's what counts.
absolutely. It's definitely
Go ahead,
okay.
dear.
So I swam at Palm Beach Lakes for all 4 years and graduated with, I think, 4 state championships, and ended up going to University of Southern California, fight on a swimming scholarship, and graduated from USC in 1998. And we were actually the national champions my junior year in 1997.
Okay, now, as I remember, or I recall, you had hopes of Olympics.
I did. So I tore both of my rotator cuffs.
Yeah, you're right.
The year of Olympic trials, I tore my right rotator cuff and then swam through it thinking, well, I'll get it fixed after Olympic trials. And I tore my left rotator cuff and I was out. Had bilateral shoulder surgery and recovered from that, but my coach had me in the water very quickly, 2 weeks after my surgery. And that was a rough recovery. I swam for another year and then I retired because it was too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
I can't possibly see how you could have done it. You know, I can barely lift my thing, let alone
so hard.
swimming. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you do need your shoulders for that. In '93, though, I got to go to the Maccabee Games in Israel, and I won a record 7 gold medals. That was pretty great.
What was your big event?
Oh, goodness. 100, 200, 400, 800 free, 3 relays. And then my best events were open water swimming, which are now Olympic sports, but at the time were not.
Okay.
Yeah. The best part of being in Israel, though, was that I got to go and visit fallen soldiers and give them awards, which honestly was probably one of the best things that's happened in my life.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So went to SC, graduated from there and decided I wanted to be a lawyer, following my dad's footsteps, and came to Boston in 1998 and went to BU Law School.
BU.
Yeah. Was there for 3 years and worked at Staples in-house doing intellectual property while at BU, and decided that that was what the area I wanted to practice in when I graduated.
Now, this area, go give a real quick thing, this area.
Intellectual property?
Intellectual things, properties, stuff.
That's exactly right. So intellectual property is a work that's created by the human mind, let's say, right? It can be copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets. The main part of IP is patents, which I did not do. I did soft IP because I don't have a science background. And I worked with some of the top retail companies in the world. Some of the best clients: Burton Snowboards, Tootsie Roll Industries, Saucony Sneakers. I could go on. They were amazing clients. And I was able
to... Did you get into doing anything with memes?
No.
Okay.
Honestly, at the time, they weren't so popular. So I have been retired for 8 years now. So the world is a completely different world from when I left it.
Yeah,
A
this
lot of advancements in technology.
artificial intelligence is just going to change everything.
My kids keep telling me how old I am, and how soon they're going to be able to be in front of me on a computer, like without the computer. They're going to zoom right in, and you're like, eh. And I think they're probably right. But I worked in IP for a little over a decade before I retired to decide to have kids with my husband.
Okay.
And I married a guy named Matt Nagler, who could not be a more perfect match for me. And
Is he an attorney too?
he is not, no,
No.
fortunately. That would make for a lot of arguments. No, he owns headhunting firms and finds people jobs and companies people.
Uh-huh. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got married in 2009. So about 11 years now. And he had started his business 2 weeks before we met.
2 weeks before you met.
So I definitely was working very hard while he was starting his company. And then when we decided we wanted to have kids, I wanted to have a lifestyle that afforded me being home with them. And so I do some consulting work, typically for the restaurant industry, but I don't still do intellectual property. Mm-hmm. I still love it, but I don't practice. Okay. The nice thing about IP is that it's not just law, it's also a combination of providing business advice to businesses, which made it so that I could make this transition into doing consulting because of the background I had.
Are you doing consulting now, honey?
I do. I take projects here and there. I haven't since quarantine came.
Okay.
Because I'm home with my kids. My oldest Max is 8. My youngest Theo is 5. And Max is in 3rd grade, and we're doing all remote, mostly for the consistency of the education. He got a fabulous teacher, which we're super lucky about. And so I'm home helping him with his at-home schooling.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I mean, couldn't be happier.
Good. I'm so happy for you. How's your dad?
So good. They're still in Palm Beach.
Are they still in Palm Beach?
They sure are.
I cross them now and then, but I'm trying to think the last time it was at a restaurant.
I'm sure that's true.
But
he still loves to eat.
Oh, and I used to, after Mrs. Greco died about 3 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She died,
a wonderful woman.
I eat out almost all the, but my daughter won't let me go to a restaurant. She made
me
promise that I wouldn't.
Takeout. That's it. No eating in a restaurant.
It's too dangerous. So here I am.
Right. I'm glad to hear that. My parents are also not eating out. They'll take out, but they're not eating in restaurants.
Right.
Too vulnerable.
Okay, Lise. Do you do any swimming?
Not really. So I've taught both of my boys how to swim. So I've gotten in the water and swum with them and helped them correct their stroke. And on occasion, they want to try and race me, which is amusing. My husband also sometimes tries to race me. I definitely am not at peak efficiency, but I can still beat them.
You can still beat them.
I don't kick, I just pull to try and make it fair, but it's still not fair.
How's your sister? Now, where is she?
She is fantastic. She's in LA.
She's in LA. Okay.
She is in LA. Yep. She works for a Jewish nonprofit and is married with a 4.5-year-old son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They're doing great. And also taking quarantine very seriously.
Okay, Lise, now, how about Palm Beach Day School?
Oh, Palm Beach Day
School. Just give us some things. There's something that you can remember that, stuck with you.
So many memories.
Let me ask you, just to get you started along the way.
Yes, please.
Do you remember your 10-minute speech?
I don't.
You don't remember your 10-minute? Okay.
I don't. Do you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember preparing for my 10-minute speech.
But you've done a lot of speaking, though, haven't
you?
So
much speaking. I actually spoke a lot when I practiced.
Okay.
There's an international convention called INTA, and I spoke at probably 4 of those conferences on specific subject matter. Okay. So if it wasn't for you, there's no way I could get up there and speak without being a nervous wreck.
You're a very good speaker.
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you what happened in your case. And I remember from speech class that vividly certain people. You were a little apprehensive at the beginning.
Sure, that's true.
Once you realized that you were good, then you liked it.
Oh.
You liked it. And this is common.
Well, that was true about math as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do you remember your Cyrano speech or your Julius Caesar 75 lines?
No. Is there just not enough room in our brains to remember that stuff? Something new went in and something old went out. I'm not sure.
All those memes in there. You don't have room for all of those other ones. Huh?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. No, but I do remember vividly your English classes and all of the vocabulary words that we had to learn.
In the parts of speech vocabulary, you had to know how to use different ways, which helped in the writing. That's why I did it. If you could use a word a different way, you became a better writer, clearer writer.
Absolutely.
Do you remember
These days, I'm pretty sure my vocabulary is not going the proper direction. It's going down. I feel like I haven't had adult conversations in 8 months.
Do you remember your 5,000 word educational autobiography?
Nope.
How about your 5,000 word character sketch? You did it on your dad.
I vaguely remember that.
You did it on your dad. I remember that.
I'm sure that's accurate. Yep.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was the biggest influence in my life, still to this day. He's a wonderful man.
How old would your dad be now, honey?
Can I say that out loud? He's 79.
Oh, he's a young guy.
I mean, puppy.
Man.
No, he's in great health. He's doing really well and still works out every day. So taking good care of himself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right now they're doing a lot of Peloton riding.
Right.
Which is great. And he married a woman in, what year did they get married? 1995. And she's fabulous. Her name is Harriet, and they've lived on the island ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is awesome. She has 2 daughters who've joined, and now we have a nice big family. No girls though, only boy grandsons.
Boys, and you only have boys.
I only have boys. Rachel has a boy.
Now, Lisa, anything? Remember field day?
Oh God, I loved field day. I actually talk about field day a lot.
You do?
Because I'm still a little bit obsessed with flamingos. In fact, one of the trademarks that my firm procured was, do you know those plastic flamingos that go in people's lawns?
Okay.
That's actually a registered trademark, which is amazing. And in fact, we have flamingo wallpaper coming for our laundry room.
I see.
And it's a little bit of an ode to the day school.
What part of Boston are you living in?
So we live in Needham now. We moved a couple of years ago to a suburb of Boston, which is about 15, 20 minutes outside of Boston, called Needham. It's the town right next to Newton, and it's fabulous.
I remember when I was in college, 2 of my best friends were from Boston.
Oh,
2 Irish boys from south of Boston.
that's right.
Really tough area at that. And I remember I had read something in the book about this one area. So I remember asking them, and it stands out in my mind because they roared when I said it. I said, "Have you guys ever been in Chelsea?" And they Chelsea. They couldn't get over it. Chelsea, you walk there, you're going to get mugged maybe.
Right.
Back in the 50s.
Back in the day, for sure. Yeah. It's funny, when I was moving here, my friend Janet was trying to help me find apartments. And she looked at the screen and was like, "Wait, what about Worcester?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's pronounced Worcester." Oh, okay. We're still looking. She's like, "What about Duster?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, that one's Dorchester." It's so funny, the old English. None of it makes sense. It's a fabulous city. I wish it was a little more diverse, but other than that, it's a fabulous city. Couldn't ask for better neighbors, a great education. It's really an intellectual capital, which is fantastic.
Who did I interview? No, he's older, much older than you. In fact, he's retiring this year.
Oh.
Kerry Emanuel.
Okay.
He was a professor at MIT. And I would see him periodically during the hurricane season. He would be on television because he's one of the world's authorities on hurricanes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
And we've had the first person I did was, again, she's younger than you, Kathy Rampell.
I remember the last name.
She writes for the Washington Post. She's a writer in their, what do you call it?
Oh, I bet you appreciate that.
Oh boy, but it's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of PBDA S/A alumni ended up in Boston at some point for school.
Right. Do you remember the people in your class? Do you
I
stay in
do.
touch with any of them?
A bit on Facebook. In person, I've seen Melissa Powell.
Melissa Powell, I remember her vaguely. Not
I
much.
ran into Courtney Reese while I was at home a few years ago.
Okay.
Trying to think who else. Definitely online, I see a lot of people. Oh, Carlos Sanchez lived in Boston for a while he was doing his fellowship at, I think, MGH in neurology. And I ran into Cyrus Masumi once in New York City.
I interviewed Cyrus
Oh, you did?
last week.
Talk
Cyrus,
about an impressive young man.
do you know what he did? Are you familiar with his company?
I am.
UN.
Yeah.
You are, okay. And from what I understand, he sold it a little while ago for
Oh, good for him.
huge sums of money.
And we're talking about ZocDoc,
The
correct?
doctors, where you
Yeah.
can get a doctor wherever
Yeah,
Cyrus.
brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of impressive graduates of Palm Beach State School.
Okay, let's see. How old are you now? You are
I am 43.
43.
Yeah. I was young.
You, you remember Ilana Zaidi, honey?
Alana Zaidi, yes.
I interviewed.
I understand she's in LA now and she's
She's in
teaching.
LA.
Is that right?
She's a professor in a school, and she's involved in all different sorts of things, writing and everything like that.
It's
Ilana,
fantastic.
right. Are you pretty well insulated? Do you stay home mostly? Or
We do. So the boys are both very into sports and play basically everything. And while it's fall, we're still allowing them to be outside playing with their friends with masks.
Right, that's
Um,
outside.
Right. So it's still baseball, flag football, soccer, tennis, basketball. We have a court and they actually just play on our court, no games. But soon enough, once it gets too cold, I don't know what we're going to do.
Tell them Mr. Greco said from his days of playing college basketball,
Yeah,
coaching in college and everything, if they're interested in basketball,
sure are.
if they want to play Division I basketball,
Yep.
tell them to do two things.
Okay.
Learn to handle the ball with either hand, dribble well, and develop a three-point shot.
Okay.
And if you can hit a three-point shot consistently
Right.
at 40%, you can play Division I basketball.
All right.
There are only, at the last I saw, there were only 15 pros who could shoot 40%.
Isn't that amazing?
What do you call?
We
So-
saw some great three-point shooting in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, but that's how difficult that. But kids realize they got to be able to handle the ball,
That's right.
left hand, right hand. They have to be able to shoot free throws at least 80% or better.
For sure.
But if you can hit that 3-point at 40%, you could play Division I basketball because
I'll
there
let
aren't
my
that
big guy
many-
know that. Yeah.
Pardon?
He's working on his left-handed layup right now.
Yeah, tell him that has to do it.
Yeah, but I'll let him know about the three-pointers. That's all. That's good advice. Have you heard of a ball called Dribble Up?
Dribble up. No, I haven't, honey.
So there's a ball. They have it for soccer and basketball. I think there's a medicine ball version as well. But they take classes online, and the ball has a microchip in it that syncs with the app you're on, and and you have to have your ball within these two circles, and the entire app is about ball handling. And so they have different classes for different skills on that. It's brilliant
Uh,
what people come up with today.
if they want to watch a great ball handler one evening, put them
Ralph Greco?
get on television,
Yeah.
on the computer, and dial Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was Mrs. Greco's cousin, by the way.
No way.
He still holds the collegiate scoring record that he got in 3 years because freshmen couldn't play when he was there. But
That's
he
amazing.
averaged 44 points a game, honey. And he was the greatest ball handler. But if you get and you see some of the tricks he can do with a basketball,
That's
but he did
spectacular.
it the way he did it,
How did we not know this growing up?
pardon?
How did we not know this growing up?
He
That's amazing.
did it by hour after hour. He would go to a movie and sit in the end aisle and dribble a basketball. That's
Oh, wow. So it's funny you say that. The big one the other day decided he was going to go for a run, and he ran while dribbling the basketball the whole time.
fine. That's fine. There you go.
Right? I mean, it was not pretty, but he did it.
How old is he?
He's 8.
He's 8.
Oh, yeah, he's young.
Let's see. How tall is your husband, honey?
My height, 5'10".
5'10".
Yeah.
How long was your son when he was born? How many inches do you know?
Is it terrible to say? I don't remember. I think 21 and a half.
21 and a half. Okay, that's going to be over.
So he is very tall right now. He's almost 5 feet.
So he's going to be 6'2", 6'3" at least, maybe more.
I mean, let's hope not too much more. Too tall isn't good either.
Well,
Don't you hit your head on everything?
Yeah, but if he's 6'6" and can handle a basketball and can hit threes, honey.
Yeah, that won't happen, but totally.
And support you in your old age.
Yes, please. Yes, but he needs to be well-rounded. Fortunately, he loves school as well, so.
Does he like to write?
He's getting there.
He's getting there. Okay.
Getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, he did not like to write. He has a fabulous teacher this year who is definitely helping the progress in that.
Okay.
The little one loves to tell stories, so I have a feeling he'll be the one that likes to write.
Good.
They both take after my sister in the sense that they're very good at math.
We like math.
It's very nice.
This is the closest smiling. Did you see that?
It's fabulous.
So anyway,
What's happening at the day school this year? Wait, what grades were you teaching still?
I was teaching 6 and 8 honors.
Okay.
8 honors, same as I was when you were here.
Yep.
When you were here, 6 and 8 honors.
Right. But I had you when I was in 3rd grade too, as I recall.
3rd,
Am I making that up? Yeah, we came upstairs.
grammar for gremlins.
Is that what you called it?
Grammar for gremlins. It's after school, once a week.
I don't know that I knew that.
Yeah, grammar for gremlins.
That's fantastic.
You were in there. Let's see. With what were the girls' names? Barbara. I'm trying to think.
Oh, I really don't remember that far back. It's terrible. Some of the memories. I remember the Challenger and the multiple times we tried to go up to see the launch with Mr. Sargo.
Yes.
Yeah. Who I understand, did he just retire? Is that right?
Last year, the year before, and he's living in Arizona, I think now.
Nice.
In
It's
Arizona.
awesome.
Yeah. A lot of them have retired.
And then is your son-in-law still at school?
He's retired 2 years ago.
He retired. Okay.
He retired. Yeah. I interviewed 2 people. Matthew Kotzen.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Matthew, who is a professor of philosophy at North Carolina University.
Oh, wow.
And I interviewed Christian Miller.
Oh, sure.
Remember
He was
Christian
what?
Miller?
Was he a year above or below me?
Okay.
Below me, I think, right?
Christian Miller, who is a professor of philosophy at Wake Forest University.
Wow.
So both of them in our discussion of philosophy and everything, which I'm interested in, I
Yeah.
told them, I said, I still remember a professor telling me in a philosophy class saying, that I never forgot it. He says, remember, there never was a philosopher that could bear a toothache patiently. So keep that in mind. They loved it. They loved it.
Oh, that's so funny.
They're both professors in those, and they both have tenure.
Oh, good for them. That's
Both have
fantastic.
tenure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It must be nice catching up with your old students.
Oh, it is. And some of them I haven't seen for years.
Oh.
For years.
At what year are you on? Teaching at the day school?
This is at the day school 53rd year, I think.
Wow. That's magnificent.
53 altogether, though. I was in the public school for 10 years, honey, before I came here.
Oh, I didn't know that. At Palm Beach Public?
4 years at Palm Beach Public, 1 year at Forest Hill,
Okay.
and 5 years in Pittsburgh area before we moved to
Ah.
Florida. So this is 63 years, honey.
Congratulations. That's impressive.
Lisa, honey,
I miss you. Let's do this more often.
when I tell you 2 favorite Lisas, I'm not kidding, honey. You know that.
You're my favorite, Ralph.
And okay. And next time you're in town, remember, give a call ahead of time.
100%. We'll have lunch.
Be in town, save me a lunch or a
Sounds
dinner,
good.
whatever. Okay,
Okay.
honey? Okay.
Love you.